I'm so excited. I'm always appreciative of this man appearing on this show. He's made many appearances. I'm a big fan. The Many Saints of Newark is something that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. It is the prequel, the much anticipated prequel to David Chase's The Sopranos. And it's David Chase's baby. And part of the cast is, in fact, one of the best in the business. And we all know him from certainly his role in Goodfellas. The Many Saints of Newark star, Ray Liotta, here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, bud?
Good. How are you, Rich? I swear that wasn't Fugazi.
That was you're talking. I know that was one of. I still pass the Goodfellas poster that's hanging in my green room from your appearance years ago here on this show. It's the greatest, man. I mean, and you know. The fact that you re-signed it because you said that the signature on it was fake still breaks my heart, but it's still great that you re-signed it at least, Ray. You know?
I'm glad that it's still there, but is it still all sharded up?
Yes, it is. It is sharded up because you took an axe to it, and taking an axe to it to try and break it open to re-sign it. You actually hit your head, the photograph of your head on the movie poster. It looks like you were actually gunning for yourself, Ray. I'll be honest.
Well, it served me right.
It's the best.
But it really was. That wasn't mine. So you really have a unique poster.
Thank you very much. So let's talk about the Many Saints of Newark. What can you tell us about this? I'm sure it's very secretive. I'm sure David Chase is keeping everything under wraps. But what can you tell everyone who's been waiting for something like this for some time? Ray.
What I can say is, because I believe it, the series, the 8 or 9 years, or 9 or 10, however long, I never really watched it. I would see the show every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like years after David for a while to write a movie about it, right? He didn't know like a way in, and he figured something out. And the movie itself is, if you've never seen a stitch of The Sopranos, it has nothing to do with the Many Saints of Newark. They're both standalone pictures. You don't have to know the characters. And then the few times that there are characters being played by the actors that later was in the series, you could see like the beginning of their journey, but also too, it does stand alone. You don't have to have like been a Sopranos fan to enjoy it.
So, but it still has, I imagine, because it's David Chase and the characters, and it's New Jersey. It does have the same feel to it. It's the same sort of spirit.
Oh, it's raw. It's as raw as a mafia movie could be. There's people not doing very well, getting sick and other things. It's definitely raw.
I can't wait for this. What was it like to be...
Who I think is great is Michael Gandolfini.
I was about to say that. What was it like to be on the set with James's son, who's playing the younger version of his character from The Sopranos? What was that?
I only knew James here and there. Michael, I never had a day that he worked the same day that I worked, and if there was a little overlap, I wasn't about to tell him, like, tell me what it's like to play your father who passed away, that you're the one who found him. I mean, really, when you really think about what that is, that's some heavy stuff. And he did it, and he's cool, and he's a good actor on his own. Kudos for, as far as I'm concerned, for him. He was great. Everybody is in this movie, but that in particular had to be not the easiest part to play.
Who do you play in this, Ray? Your character is Aldo Hollywood Dick Moltisanti. Who walk us through who that is and how you played him in this film.
Okay, so my son, who ends up doing bad things to me, wants to have a kid, meets the other guy in prison and talks to him, and in this way, it was, what was the name of the character that Michael Imperioli played?
Christopher Moltisanti. Yeah, Christopher. Yeah, Christopher.
Right. I would have been his grandfather.
Okay.
My son would have been his father.
Okay.
But we become scarce after a little bit, and he moves on, and starts the journey of where it did. I just think the way David did it was so smart. He didn't hit it over people's heads. He did it the way that he felt was the best way to tell it without, going overboard. So, like anything, it's really about the script. Especially in this business, I
sure,
think so.
For sure. Ray Liotta here on the Rich Eisen Show.
The Giants won by 2 last night.
No, Ray. No, you must have turned that one off right before the end of the field, right before the end of the game. No, Washington won on a field goal on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah. But they were playing the Giants.
That they were playing the Giants. Are the Giants your team, Ray? Are they your team?
No.
No?
But I'll tell you what was really interesting, since we're talking sports,
sure,
or I'm changing the whole thing,
go for it,
was the game at the Field of Dreams field.
So you did see that then?
Did you watch that?
Of course I did. I know, because the last time you were on the show, you had mentioned you had never seen the Field of Dreams. You'd never seen the film.
Yeah.
Right? So what did you think of that? What did you think of the game being at the Field of Dreams, the Yankees?
I watched bits and pieces of it. I didn't realize that they cut down more corn and put a professional field there, because I knew what we played on. Even I was hitting them into the corn. So I know these guys would have. I didn't realize they built such a big thing. I thought it was such a cool sporting thing, and the way they did it, it really gave a reverence to sports.
And it looked beautiful. It looked beautiful. I mean, did it look that? I mean, and the night sky was all sorts of colors. It was that. I thought sometimes that might have been just a movie trick, but that's literally the way it was when you shot it, right?
Totally, because just think about it. It's nothing but corn, so there's no street lamps or any kind of lighting to show the billboards or cars going by.
Right.
It's just dark because it's just out there, and acres and acres and acres of corn.
I got Ray Liotta.
I was really blown out by it.
Me too. And they're gonna have more games there next year. I personally think they should have every major league team show up there. Every fan base should make a pilgrimage.
And I should introduce every one of them.
Why not? Shouldn't you? You should come out of the field with you should come out of the field with the Yankees the next time. I
was thinking about that. Except the crazy thing is that they're honoring the Field of Dreams, but the White Sox and Shoeless Joe in particular was banned from the game for gambling. So if you really look about what the movie says or what it's about, it's more than like a son playing a catch with their dad.
Right. That's I think it was my favorite line of yours in the movie is that you all left out Ty Cobb because he was mean. Like nobody likes Ty Cobb.
Yeah.
That was a funny line in that movie. I want to ask you a couple of things about Goodfellas, Ray. I just want to go down this wormhole with you if you don't mind. Is it true that the famed scene of Pesci saying, "How my clown do I amuse you?" He was ad-libbing it, and at one point you literally thought that he was serious, that everybody thought that he was really being serious? Is that a true story or no?
It's a true story that happened to Joe. We had the luxury of having 2 weeks of rehearsal. Me, Joe, Bob, Lorraine, and Martin Scorsese. And Joe, he's a great storyteller, and he was just telling a story that how he was in Queens one day, and he said something to a guy like, what we're thinking, and the guy just turned on Joe in a dime. So Joe was kind of like backing off, saying, no, I'm just saying that you. So what happened is he told that story, and Marty said, you know what, I like that, and I know a good place to put it. Let's work this out. So we just started we were ad-libbing back and forth. But then when they thought that when Marty thought the scene was shaped to where it would sound good, and then it was part of the brilliant script that they wrote, they added it in. And what happened was that All right, so they're doing all those extras.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 100 extras. We're going through the kitchen. We got a guy picking up a table, moving it.
Right.
And then boom, all of a sudden we're in the center of this thing. She says, "What do you do?" And I says, "It's construction." Then it goes up to Henny Youngman. And after all that, he forgot his line. He forgot his own joke.
Are you serious? For real?
Yeah.
So that one huge long shot that he did. So what happened?
We had to do it again.
Wow.
Because the whole thing was a one shot. It was like this, steady cam, and
right.
That wasn't. There's no cutaways. It was on us when we sat down, and then to Henny for the joke. And he did it the second time, the third time, everything was fine. But I just thought, well, here's a little fun fact for you.
So your line was ad-libbed about, I'm just joking with you, like seriously, like the funny house scene.
Oh yeah, that
was all. Oh,
totally. Like because I know that Tommy's a nut job and kills people at the drop of a hat. I don't even know if that's an expression, but I like it.
No, that's not a bad one, Ray. That's not a bad one.
A drop of the hat, huh?
I like it.
Yeah, I'm getting jockey.
What's your favorite scene from Goodfellas? Which one are you the most proud of from that film that I've seen 90 million times? Literally, it's maybe the movie I've seen more than any other movie in my entire life is Goodfellas. So which one would that be for you?
It's two-edged, and I like you, and I feel like we're just talking alone, even though there's probably millions of people listening. My mother passed away in the middle of shooting Goodfellas.
I had no
idea. She died of cancer. So there was a scene that we did to finish up the day, and then we were off on a Friday. Saturday, Sunday was a burial, and people coming over to the house to mourn. And the most classy thing that was done was a lot of the Teamsters in Pesci came to my house in New Jersey to pay respects to my mom. I can almost get choked up now. And so it's not so much a favorite scene, but when I come back, the first thing is Karen coming at me yelling, "Who do you think you are, Frankie Valli? You can't just make a date and not show up and blah, blah, blah."
Right.
So it's not that it's a favorite scene to do, but it's the most emotionally packed thing in the movie for me, just based on that light, fun little airy story that I just told you.
No, that's
just dropped your rating.
No, not at all, Ray. No, not at all. It's a fascinating. I had no idea that was that.
Yeah.
That now that scene will be different for me. From now on. What about the scene with Scorsese's actual mother?
That was great. When I'm in that when
the dinner.
What's the guy's name?
Billy Batts is in. Billy Batts.
Billy Batts is in the trunk, right? 'Cause they beat him up at my bar.
Right.
That was really fun because one, that really was her sauce, and that sauce was really brewing for a couple days, like an old school Italian woman or man would do. So it was like no one was to touch it. Every now and then she'd go in and she'd stir it. It was just, and then that was a lot of improv that Bob and Joe did. And one of the best one is when Joe says, "Look at this, one dog's going this way, one dog's going that way," and this guy saying, "What do you want from me?" It was just, Joe just pulled that out of the air, and it cracks me up. It was a really good one.
For that painting,
Joe's a fun guy.
Oh my God! That's it. So he sees that painting, and that was just his ad lib. How about him saying to take the knife? Was that ad lib too? He took the knife for later on.
Yeah, because we got that was because we got to get the what do you call it? The paw, the hoof. The hoof. It was just all matter of fact, like. All right, well, let's eat before we bury the guy. I mean, I'm hungry.
I love that's her real sauce that she was really cooking for the scene. That is amazing. Yeah, that is my favorite thing. She's like, are you guys hungry? You want something to eat? I'll just whip something up. And it looked like a 19-course meal, like smash cut right to like a full table of food.
His dad was in the movie, too.
Right.
His dad was the guy
Who said that's that, right?
When Joe called, when Bob called to see what happened with Tommy, with Pesci, he gets a call and you know, it's no good. He didn't make it.
He's gone.
What do you mean he didn't make it? He didn't make it. And that was Morty's dad.
What? Yeah.
In actuality.
Yeah, the payphone outside the diner to find out the bad news. Oh, my God.
I'm telling you all this stuff because I feel like I owe you for the broken Fugazi.
It's not your fault. Somebody's, falsifying your autograph on something I spent 4 figures on. No big deal. Don't worry about it.
Truth be told, one day I saw something and I was really tired and someone came up. It could have really been mine. It hits me in the head because it was it was funny, but it was like, I felt bad. And I didn't feel that bad, but I felt bad.
Ray, you're the best, man. Thanks for the time. I cannot wait to see this film. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Let's do this again. You got it.
Rich.
So much more to talk about even the next time. Ray Liotta here on the Rich Eisen Show. Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line. The Many Saints of Newark, available in theaters and on HBO Max, October 1.
Ray Liotta. What a legend.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.